It's a raccoon with a talk show slinging culture facts you might not know. From the biggest flops to the greatest hits, this is Trash Can Tidbits.
Hi there, it's Beaton here, and I got another fun fact list for you this week. You know the drill by now, so let's get to it with fact number 1. Did you know that Yardley Smith is the only cast member from The Simpsons to voice only one character? Every other cast member usually plays more than one character, but Smith has been the voice of Lisa and only Lisa since the beginning of the show and continues on to this day. Fact 2. Did you know that despite the logo for the musical The Phantom of the Opera being a full-on face mask, no such mask appears in the show itself? The Phantom actually wears a half mask, as the original actor who played the role, Michael Crawford, complained about how a full mask was restricting his face and his singing. At his urging, the mask was changed to half a size to show the good side of the Phantom's face and so they could show off his vocals much more. Fact 3. Did you know that some of the music that composer Andrew Lloyd Webber writes for his shows are often written years before they're even put into a show or any project? For example, when The Phantom of the Opera was made into a movie in 2004, a filler sequence was written for when the character Christine takes a carriage from the stables of the opera house to visit her father's grave. The music that plays during that scene was later used for the song Beneath a Moonless Sky in the stage-bound sequel to Phantom, Love Never Dies, which was released almost a decade later. Fact 4. Did you know that the movie Mulholland Drive started out as a spin-off of the show Twin Peaks? Allegedly, the series was to have starred Sherilyn Fenn as Audrey Horne, the character she played on Twin Peaks, but it didn't end up happening. Director David Lynch still kept that idea in mind, and Mulholland Drive ended up becoming its own movie a few years later, which starred Naomi Watts in the role that was originally supposed to have been played by Fenn. Fact 5. Did you know that Minerva Mink from Animaniacs was originally going to be a send-up of the actress Marilyn Monroe? Indeed, she was even named Marilyn Mink before she changed her name to Minerva. She was also going to be naked during her appearances on the show, but they obviously nixed the idea. I still am pretty sad that she was a short-lived character. She made quite an impression with me. I'm sorry, where was I? Right. Fact 6. Did you know that, believe it or not, the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park were only on screen for about 15 minutes altogether? And even throughout the whole movie, half of the footage was the full-size dinosaur models made by Stan Winston, and the other half was the CGI dinosaurs. Also, we actually don't see the velociraptors in full until close to the end of the movie. This is actually reminiscent of the way Steven Spielberg made Jaws, in that he chose to show the shark at specific points to build up the suspense and let the audience use their imaginations. Even in the first scene, where the characters get a look at the raptors, where the audience can't see but can only hear them, Spielberg was actually standing behind the camera and making dinosaur noises into a megaphone, which in retrospect is actually pretty funny. Fact 7. Did you know that Jurassic Park author Michael Crichton also considered making a movie based on his novel, E.R.? He wrote the scripts for both projects for studio consideration. Steven Spielberg liked Jurassic Park better, and they went forward with that idea instead. But Spielberg didn't forget E.R., and he helped Crichton develop it into the hit TV show we all know today. In fact, the script that he wrote for it, when it was still being proposed as a movie, is the same script that was used for the pilot episode. Fact 8. Did you know that the beautiful mansion used on Downton Abbey has an association with the discovery of King Tut? The castle, which is really called Highclere Castle, has been owned by the Herbert family since the 1600s. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you guys, it should. In 1922, George Herbert, the 5th Earl of Carnarvon, or Lord Carnarvon, led the expedition to discover the ancient Egyptian tomb of the legendary boy king, and died under mysterious circumstances shortly afterwards. The show, Downton Abbey, even has a small reference to this, in the form of the Earl of Grantham's dogs, which are named Pharaoh and Isis. Fact 9. Did you know that James Bond's watch in the GoldenEye game actually tells the time? It apparently does so in real time and will continue to do so even if the game is paused or not playing at all. I think this is a really nice small touch, even though it doesn't really add anything to the gameplay, but I thought it was worth mentioning that the game developers went to all that trouble. Fact 10. Did you know that many of the Ratchet & Clank games have double entendre-laden names as part of their subtitles? For example, the title of the second game is Going Commando, the third game is called Up Your Arsenal, the PSP game is called Size Matters, and so on. The first official game in the series to not have a suggestive name was Ratchet & Clank All for One for the PS3, although the working title for that game was Ratchet & Clank 4Play. Yeah, I think that would have pushed it a little too far. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this week's list, and I'll be back next week with some more neat stuff for you. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and boop that bell to be notified for future videos. See you next time.